All right, Nick, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas, a lot of stuff went wrong for Dallas this year in the injury department, weren't able to get things done. Now there's some questions about the head coaching position. Do they stick with Mike McCarthy? Do they not stick with Mike McCarthy? Does Mike McCarthy decide to go his own way? There's a lot of different options here, and we have an absolutely massive update for Cowboys fans. You're going to want to hear this one. But first, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, big decisions when it comes to Mike McCarthy and what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do. And it sounds like Mike McCarthy may even be helping himself out to make the decision for himself. Let's get into this article from The Score, and we can talk more about it. On the other side, this again, I said from The Score, Chicago Bears are seeking permission to interview Mike McCarthy for their head coaching job and are awaiting response for the Dallas Cowboys, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter and Todd Archer. If the request is denied, the Bears can interview McCarthy after January 14th when his exclusive negotiating window with the Cowboys ends. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said Sunday that he would be open to granting McCarthy permission to speak with other teams if asked, but doing so would likely end any chance of the coach returning to Dallas, via Garrett Podell of CBS Sports. Finally, there's a belief around the league that McCarthy would be interested in the Bears coaching job if the Cowboys chose not to bring him back, according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Mixed in there, a lot of really good sources, a lot of people who know their stuff. We pieced together that Bears interested in Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy potentially interested in the Bears. If he goes there, he's not coming back to Dallas. I think there's a lot going on here. Nick, I'm curious what your thoughts are about this one. But before we get to you, Dallas fans, in the comment section below, Mike McCarthy, he's loved, he's hated. I think there's a lot of, mixed feelings on if he's good, if he's bad for this franchise going forward. So let us know your thoughts. Be heard in the comment section below. What do you think about Mike McCarthy? Is he almost there? Does he stay? Does the injuries that big of a deal? Do you think they get it done next season with him? Is it just time to go? He hasn't accomplished enough. Is it time to move on from McCarthy, or just get him out of here as fast as possible? You don't really care. Let us know your thoughts on this situation in the comment section below. But nonetheless, Nick, let's hear your thoughts on this situation for Dallas.
This is the classic example of a team in the Chicago Bears just spraying and praying. And I see this on a lot of Cowboys fans, on a lot of these Cowboys bloggers on social media. And this is where people get it wrong. I see a lot of these people like, why are the Cowboys going so slowly? Look at the Bears. Look at the Patriots. They fired Gerard Mayo right away. Look at the Jaguars. They fired Peterson. Why are the Cowboys going slow? Here's a piece of advice for you guys. If you are comparing yourself as an organization to the Chicago Bears, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, or frankly, even the New England Patriots over the past 4 or 5 years, that's bad company to be in. You do not want to model what those guys are doing. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys, believe it or not, are doing the right thing. They're being methodical. They're being deliberate. You don't be overreactionary. For example, the Chicago Bears right now, you know who else they're requesting interviews with? The New York Giants offensive coordinator. This is according to Just Another Year Chicago Bears. He said the Bears have requested to interview Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. Kafka has been the Giants offensive coordinator since 2022. In 2024, the Giants offense was terrible. Obviously, 30th in total yards, 31st in total points. Statistics get worse from there. So the Bears are spraying and praying. Do you want to be the Chicago Bears? Absolutely not. Do you want to be the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? This is a team that they had that one magical run where they went to the AFC Championship game, should have beaten the Patriots. But outside of that, and one playoff magical finish, I believe in 2022, outside of that, for about a 12-year window, it's been 9 or 10 double-digit loss seasons, a lot of high draft picks, a lot of top 5 draft picks. Do you want to be the Jacksonville Jaguars? No, of course not. Do you want to be the Chicago Bears, a team that double-digit losses? They've been bottom feeders in the NFL for the past 5-6 years. No, of course not. You don't want to be reactionary. You don't want to spray and pray. Be deliberate. Be methodical. Talk to McCarthy. Do your end-of-year evaluations with the players and the coaching staff. That's what's going on this week. For every team that didn't make the postseason, every general manager, every owner, every leadership group at the top of a franchise is going through every member of the coaching staff and evaluating them, every single player, and evaluating them. And based on those conversations and decisions and final meetings, which takes days, you then go from there and make decisions. You don't want to react quickly. There's no point in being fast, right? There's no value in being, let's be the first guy to interview or request an interview for Ben Johnson or something. Come on, guys. Let's be mature. Let's be adults about this. The right move for any sort of leadership position, any sort of organization is to be slow, methodical, deliberate. Think it out, right? Look, Jerry Jones, Jones family, criticism abound. They deserve it, undeniably so. But they're taking the right approach here 100%. Slow play with Mike McCarthy. If he wants to listen to other jobs, that's fine. You can move on another direction. I think the Cowboys personally are going to move on another direction anyway, and I think it would be right for the team. Cowboys fans, I know there's a lot of consternation that right now things are going too slow. I get it. There's concern. Be patient because as of right now, the Cowboys leadership, for the first time in a long time, are taking the right approach.
Yeah, and again, when I look at this Cowboys team, I look at the rosters. There's three things that I know for certain. Micah Parsons is good. Aubrey's a good kicker, and there's a lot of injuries on this roster. Outside of that, there's a lot of unknowns with what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. So that's, I think what you're saying is right. You gotta go slow. You gotta feel it out. And I like the approach that Jones is taking here. He's saying, hey, we're still trying to work through things with McCarthy. We're seeing if that's what we want to do. But if he wants to go ahead and pull the trigger himself, if he wants to make that decision and go talk to someone else, that's fine. If he steps away from the table, we will step away from the table as well. He's not rushing anything. He's not doing what we've seen him do a lot of times, being very emotional. Say, oh, you want to go, talk to someone else? We're done. This is over. I could totally see Jerry Jones doing that if this were a different situation, but he's not doing it because I think he knows his time to get another Super Bowl is coming to a very narrow end. There's not a whole lot of time for him to left to field a really good team. There are some key pieces here, like I said. I think there's a lot of good here. And you brought up the Bears. They're a good situation. Dallas, that's a desirable situation for a lot of head coaches. A lot of, history there, a lot of fanfare. You have the star on your helmet. It means a lot of things to a lot of different people. So I think Dallas, very desirable location for a lot of people in general. So I think there's a lot of good going there as well. I think exactly what you said. Go slow, take your time, make the right decisions, and just look at what you do have and see how you can build off of that. I think that's the way that the Dallas Cowboys are going. And like you said, they haven't done that in a long time. There's been a lot of rushing, a lot of doing things the wrong way. It seems like they're doing things the right way right now. So give them a round of applause for that one. Very excited to see how this goes for them.
And one final point to end on, one thing I've heard a lot of people talk about is like, oh, the way they're treating Mike McCarthy, that'll hurt their opportunities to hire coaches and people in the future. That's just ridiculous, right? Jerry Jones literally ran a Hall of Fame coach, Jimmy Johnson, out of town and fired Barry Switzer after one losing season, right? That's how Jerry Jones began his ownership career. And even after those two events, he still was able to bring in head coaching guys like Bill Parcells, right? This is a guy, because of all the things you mentioned, will be able to hire a top head coaching candidate. It's the Cowboys. They've got talent. They've got all pros at receiver, Pro Bowl offensive line, all pros defensive end, Pro Bowl guys in the secondary, franchise quarterback. They've got pieces. They've got talent. They're going to be good enough to win at least a fair share of games next year. They won 7, even with the worst injury situation in football, according to overthecap.com. This is not an undesirable position. People need to calm down and relax. Let this process play out. Right now, the Cowboys are taking the right approach.